All right, welcome back to NTV's Get Life. Well, we've all heard about how important pollinators are and that their habitat has shrunk over the years. But how many of us have actually taken action to help those pollinators?
Well, Brian Gnuse is joining us now, our Good Life guy, to tell us about another guide to the Good Life segment regarding pollinators. And what have you done, Brian?
What have I done?
First.
Brian, yeah.
We planted milkweed this past year.
You
Actually
did.
borrowed it from a field and brought it
Yeah.
over, and my wife actually has catmint in there, but we want to do more, so now I'm getting educated on what we can do, and Christine McCormick is going to help us out with that.
Well, good.
So we're headed over to the Pollinator Garden in Holdrege. A couple of years ago while in high school, Christine McCormick took a small idea and turned it into a beautiful 3-season home for pollinators. Now we get to enjoy the flowers and the many winged visitors that stop by. Christine McCormick is currently off to college in Minnesota, so we caught up with her over Skype.
This garden space in Holdrege's South Park is beautiful now, but it hasn't always been that way.
I used to be on the tennis team, and we'd play at the courts in South Park, and the courts are right next to the garden. And so I would always see it and be like, oh no, it has so much potential. Someone should really do something about it, fix it up, and that someone ended up being me.
As a sophomore in high school, Christine was part of a group called Youth Engaged in Leading Phelps, or YELP. Part of being in the group is helping with community projects. She created the platform called the Bumble Project. Then after she had the space secured, and a lot of hours of work later with family and friends, the pollinator garden was ready.
Well, the first year we did it, we didn't have the signage. We just went out there, weeded and tilled the garden, planted some flowers, and I knew while it was helping pollinators, because bees and butterflies are there, it wasn't enough in the sense that people would walk by it and see just a garden and not see kind of the point behind it or why it was there.
So she applied for a grant from the state and secured local matching backers to help pay for the main sign, as well as labels on the various plants in the garden.
And that has been such a huge improvement in the garden, because people have been coming up to me and being like, oh, I never knew this flower was a pollinator, or oh, what kind of flower is that? I'll plant it in my garden next year. So it's really accomplishing the goal, I think, of letting people know the importance of pollinators, as well as showing them how easy it is to incorporate these plants in the garden.
Now, after the second full summer of this project, she says it's been fun to see all the beautiful creatures that temporarily call this site home.
It's been really rewarding, I think, to see how quickly bees and butterflies have gone to the garden. Within, I think, 3 days of planting the first flowers in 2017, these tiny little baby flowers already had attracted bees. And then to continue to see the garden grow, the flowers get bigger, and more bees show up. It's just, yeah, it continues to be more and more rewarding throughout the years.
We've had fun with it, and Christine, it was something that I think, that she really had a passion for, and it was a project that she took on and made it go.
A recent addition to the garden is this donated bee hotel. She says that certain types of bees, like the mason bees, don't live in hives, and like places like this, to live alone. Christine says the idea of the Bumble Project can continue many, many times over if others want to mimic this space. She offers some advice on those interested.
Well, the garden should be pretty helpful in gaining ideas on what to put in your pollinator garden. It'd be as easy as spreading wildflower seed to planting different seasons of flowers. In the garden, we have all three seasons, spring, summer, and fall covered. So there's blooming throughout those times. And I think just take a look at the garden, find some flowers you like, see what seasons they bloom in, and then try and get one kind of flower in each season, and you should have a good little pollinator garden.
Great advice. Brian Gnuse, NTV's Good Life, Holdrege.
For those interested in wanting to create their own pollinator garden but can't get to Holdrege to kind of check things out, we'll have a list of some of those different plants and what season they bloom in, and I'll have it on this story later when I post it on Nebraska.tv. I also did a quick internet search, and there are loads of great articles with suggestions on how to create and sustain a pollinator garden in your own backyard.
Very
I'll be
nice.
darned.
I want that list.
And
That's
Yes.
Yeah, and she's
awesome.
very impressive. What is she studying in college?
I didn't ask her. I
I
should have.
wonder if it's
Yes.
horticulture of sorts. I mean, that is
We'll have
what
to
a,
find out. Yes.
what a great project
Yeah,
that she did.
And it ended up being a big project too. It
Yeah.
started off kind of small,
Absolutely.
and that's a large plot. I don't, you couldn't quite tell, but it's a
It
large
is
area.
very
so.
large.
I'm
very
very
beautiful.
impressed with her.
Very
Nice
beautiful.
job.
Well, thank you, Brian.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
bringing that to us. Appreciate it. And we'll be right back. Stay with us.